Welcome to this new part of the training where we're going to see how to make the Excel or invoice worksheet to be responsive. So this is our worksheet. So let's just have a look at what we want to do. So we have we want to produce a worksheet for the sales invoice whereby you can have the possibility to choose the customer who is in front of you, like to choose the customer you are selling to, and you see the informations of the customer automatically appear based on the information that were mentioned in the customers list. So we equally want to make it in such a way that when we select an article, the number, the item code, and the unit price of that article automatically appears, and when we put the units the customer is taking, it automatically calculates the total amount. And we will equally be seeing how to make in such a way that each time we open this workbook, this date, the date of the day where we are making the transaction should automatically appear. So let's get to that. So for us to call, we already have the list of all our customers which was created in the previous video. So in this our invoice, we are going to create a drop down list which will call for the customers names. So just like we saw in the previous video, we have to put a drop down list here. So for us to do the drop down list, we come to data and we take data validation. So on data validation, we choose here list, and then we give the source of or where the information should be gotten from. So I click on this part and I come to customer, and now you will see the advantage of using a table, because here in the customers list we created a table. So in this table, I'm just going to select from up here. When it shows this arrow, I'm going to select from up here and it will select the whole names of customers. So the advantage with this is that each time when I will add a new customer, automatically, since it is in a table, automatically this list will contain the new customer information. So when I click on OK, you can see the drop down list is already there for us. So you see here it ends at the level of customer 8. If I come in the customers list, I add a new line by pressing tab. I add a new line and I put a new customer. Let's say I call him new customer, and I put some informations. When I'll come to my invoice, I'll have the possibility to see the new customer. So I want to make in such a way that when I call for a particular customer, the address of that customer appears. Just like here we have address, we have phone number, and so on. So I'm going to use the Vlookup function, just like we saw in the previous videos how to use the Vlookup function. So I'm going to be looking up to the 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 customer's name to bring in the address of the customer. So I'm going to say equal to Vlookup. So the lookup value is going to be the customer's name. I will put the customer's name, then I put a comma, or my machine is asking for semicolon. So the table array is going to be this table for customers. So I'm going to select the table of customer. This is where I want to get the informations. So the next part, they will ask for the column index number. So the column index number, what I want now is the address, and the address in this table is the second column. Like this is column 1, column 2. So I'm going to choose the second column, and they will ask for the lookup range. I want it to be an exact match, so I'm going to put 0 and I close bracket. So Automatically you can see I go to when I get to customer 1, you will see address 1 will automatically appear, customer 3, address 3 will appear. So I want to do same with the phone number. So I'm still going to say equal to Vlookup. I'll be looking up to the customer's name in the table of customers, and I'll be looking for the phone number. The phone number is in this column, so column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put column 6. It is found in column 6, and I can go directly. Sorry, there's a mistake I made. There's a mistake. So the lookup value is the customer's name. After that, I put my semicolon. If I don't put it, it is not going to work because the function asks for semicolon. I get to the table array which is going to be the table of our customers. I get to the column index number, which is column 6, and I want an exact match, so I put 0 and I close bracket, enter. So you can see the phone number of this customer has appeared. I want to do same with the email. I'm going to say equal to vlookup the customer's name. I take semicolon. The table array is going to be the whole of this table, semicolon. The column index number for email is column 7. This is column 7, so I'm going to put 7. And I want an exact match, so I'm going to put 0 and I close bracket. I take enter. So you can see when I change the customer's name, automatically the informations are changing. When I change the customer's name, the informations are changing. But if there is no customer, you will see some error messages will appear. So that is why here I'm going to put the if error function on each of these address, phone number, and telephone, so that this error message should not appear again. So I'm going to put if error all true. So when I say if error, so the syntax asks for the value, all our function that we had already put in is already the value. So I'm going to put then the value if error, and the value if error is going to be inverted commas, open and close, meaning nothing. I close the bracket and I take enter. So you can see I'm going to repeat the same thing all through. So when I'm done doing that, you can see that when there's no name, there's no error message. When there is a name, the informations automatically appear. So that's what we want to do. So in this area, I want to put the date of today. So I want that each time I open this workbook, in this worksheet, the date of the day where I'm opening this worksheet should appear. So I'm going to use a function called today. So when I say equal to today, so the today returns the current date format or as a date. So when I take today, I open bracket and I close it without putting anything inside, and I click on enter, it's going to give us the date of today. So for the invoice number, we will make the invoice number to increment as we are taking a new invoice. As a new customer comes in, we'll be incrementing. So we'll see that later in the VBA. So we get directly to this section down. So I'm going to make this section down to be a table. So I'm going to create a table of, for example, this space. So I come on insert, I take table, and I say my table has headers. I take OK. So I'm going to remove this filter option. So I don't actually want the filter option to appear here because we will not be filtering here. This table will just help us to input the customer's invoice. So I'll come at the level of design, filter button. I'll untick filter button. So I'm going to change the style for this um i'm going to I'm going to take it to be something like this. Okay, so below here I'm going to have total, meaning to calculate the total. Okay, when I add total here, actually it is adding a line for me, but I don't want it to be this way. So what I'll do is that I'll stand anywhere in this table, anywhere in the table. I come on design and I say total row. So I want to insert a total row. So you can see it has given a total row to me, and here I want that it should sum the total amount in this list. So I'm going to say sum. So if I have, for example, a value here and a value here, you can see it's going to sum the amounts here for me. So I'll wipe this off. Now what I want to do is that I'll write here, for example, total. Don't know if you enter. Okay, write the total. Then down here I'm going to put VAT. So I'm going to put VAT below where we calculate VAT, and I'm going to put total VAT inclusive. So we are going to make all these calculations, but for now let's get to the invoice. So just like we saw in the example, I'm going to make in such a way that I call for the item here, and the item code appears, the quantity appears, no, sorry, the unit price appear, and the amount calculate automatically. So we already have a sheet here called data, which has already the different items, the different items we the different items we are selling maybe in the company. So I will make some selling prices here. So I'll, for example, like that the selling price, because this is a purchase price and this is a selling price, I would like that the selling price should, or I would like that we make a 25% profit on each product based on the purchase price. So I'm just going to say equal to purchase price times 1.25. So that would be doing this amount times 1, which is the whole, and the 0.25, which is the percentage profit. So sorry, here my machine understand a point with a comma instead. So when I enter this, it will calculate automatically for all the different rows. So this is how important a table is. When you have a table, when you put a function in the first row, it automatically appears for the rest. So yes, I have here my selling prices and my purchase prices. So what I want to do here is that I'm going to call for the items which are located here. So all these items, I'm going to call for them in here. So I'll create a drop down list for that. So I come to data, I come on data validation, I choose list, and I come to data, I select all the articles and I click on OK. So you can see all the articles are here. I can always select an article. So from here, I want that when I select the article like this, the item code of this article should appear. So I'm going to use the Vlookup function, and I will just start by putting my if errors in order to avoid errors. Then I say Vlookup. So the lookup value is going to be the description, which is here, which is E13. So it's going to be this description, and so I'm just selecting E13, and it is giving whatsoever it is writing in here. So the table array is going to be data. So it is going to be all this table. The table array is going to be all this table. So I will select all the table, and they will ask for the column index number. What do I want? I want the item code in this table. So the column index number is column 2. So I just put 2, and I want an exact match. So when I'm done with the VLOOKUP, I close bracket, and you can see when I'm done with the VLOOKUP now, I can the Excel will remind me that okay, I am under an if error function, and all what I've written so far was just the value of the if error. So I have to give the value if error. It is going to be nothing, inverted commas, open and close. Then I close bracket and I take enter. So you can see when I choose a different item, the item code for that item will automatically appear. So I want to do same with the unit price. So I'm going to take equal to, I'll start with if error in order to avoid errors. Then I get to VLOOKUP. So the lookup value is still going to be this description. The table array is still going to be the whole table in here. So when I take semicolon, they will ask for the column index number. The column index number for item for the unit price. Remember that we're in an invoice, so the unit price is going to be the unit selling price, which is in column 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, I'll put column 4. I put the semicolon, an exact match. I close bracket. So I get to the value if error, and I put inverted commas, open and close. I close bracket and I take enter. You can see the unit price for this product has automatically appeared. So what is going to be the amount? The amount is going to be the quantity times the unit price. We cannot automate the quantity because the quantity will be determined when the customer will be there. For the customer, depending on the quantity the customer will be asking. So the amount is going to be the quantity times the unit price. As simple as that, and I click OK. So you can see all through when I just did these functions in the first line, it automatically entered in the other lines in the table. So this is the importance of a table, and you can see here that it is showing error messages because actually it is not seeing any value here. So first of all, I'm going to drag my drop down list to get to the whole table. So you see if there's information inside, you see everything is coming, and there's no error message here. But if in here I delete all of this, you will see the item number will go off, the unit price will go off, but this one shows that there's an error. So to avoid seeing this error, I'm going to use the if error function. So I'm going to do that on the first line. I'm going to do that on the first line. I'll come and put here if error. I'll put if error. So if there is an error, I'll put semicolon, inverted commas, open and close, and I close bracket and I take enter. So you can see there will be no error message again. So that is it. Now I want that when I have an element or when I have information in this line, it should be counting here like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I want that, but I have to use a function so that each time there is something here, it should automatically give the number or the line number. So I'm going to use two functions, but let me start by using the function called row. So if I say equals to row will automatically row will give us the row number. So if I say equals to row, I open bracket and I close bracket. When I take enter, you can see this is row 13, so it's going to write here row 13. This is row 14, it's going to write here row 14. But this is not actually what I want to do. This line in this table in this table, this line is line 1, it is row 1, and this one is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4, and so on. So I don't actually want it to be giving me row 13 instead. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come back to this row and I will say row 13 minus. So since this row number is row 13, if I say 13 minus the number, the row number which is up, for example 12, you will see how many rows are there before 13. There are 12 rows before 13. So if this is row, if this cell area is row 13 and I do minus 12, automatically it is going to give 13 minus 12 and give me 1. So that's why here I'm going to say minus 12. So when I say minus 12, you see it gives me 1, and so on and so forth. When I come here, this will be row 14 minus 12 will give me 2. Here will be row 15 minus 12 will give me 3, and so on. So this is good, but it is not still up to what I want. I don't want that when there's no information here, the row number should be counting. No, I want that this row number should be counting uniquely when there's an information in the whole line. So what will I do? I will say that I will just come before this row after the equal to sign. I will say if. I will use the if function. I will use a condition to say that should in case there is nothing in this cell, it should not count, but should in case there is something in the cell, it should count. So let's just get to it. The logical test will be should in case this description, should in case the description is different, we use diff to implicate different, we use in the greater sign and less than sign. If it is different from nothing, so if it's different from nothing, so if I say this cell is different from nothing, it means there's actually something inside. So I'm at the same time here trying to imply that should in case there is something inside, semicolon, it should count the row, meaning should in case this description has something inside, it should count the row number. If not, so that's the value if true will be this our function row minus 12. So it will count the row number. If not, it should not portray anything, meaning it should not count, it should not show anything. So I close bracket and I take enter. So you can see it has automatically appeared. If I have an item here, you can see it will count the row number. If I don't have the item, it won't count the row number. So if I try, for example, to put this to be centralized, okay, so if there's information here, you can see the unit price appear, everything is very okay. If I put, for example, a quantity of 3, I put a quantity of 4 here, I put a quantity of 6 here, you can see it's calculating the amount and giving me a total. So this is how good it is. Now in this table, remember that I should not delete anything in this row. I should not delete anything in this column. Sorry, I should not delete anything in this column as well. I should not delete anything in this column as well as in this column. The only columns that can be deleted are these two, because they are the columns which are manually updated by choosing the article and by giving the quantity. So if I want to remove or to stop to remove everything, I just have to delete these 2 rows. I just have to remove information in this 2 row and automatically it goes. If I want to call for information, I call from this row and I put the quantity here. So these are the only 2 rows in this table that can be modified. If I come, for example, here and I delete, it's going to delete my formula that I had to put inside, which is going to disturb my calculations. So I'm going to equally calculate the VAT. So the VAT here, I'm going to use a VAT of 19.25. So here we are using a VAT of 19.25. So what I would do is that I'm going to calculate VAT on the total amount. So simply I'm going to say equal to the total amount. I will just select this column times 19.25%, or I'll just say 0.1925, because it's the same thing as percent. So when I click enter, it will automatically calculate. So I'm going to put the if error function, so that should, in case there is no value, it should not give an error message. So I'll put if error comma semicolon, sorry, nothing should happen, and I close bracket, I take enter. So the total VAT inclusive is just going to be, I'm going to put if error first, is going to be the total plus the VAT. So after that, I put semicolon and I then put the value if error. I close, enter. So this is how automatic our invoice can be. So when I remove information here on these two cells, you can see everything is okay. When there is no customer's name, everything is okay. When I choose a customer, everything appears. When I choose an item, everything appears. I put a quantity, it calculates, and so on and so forth. So this is how we can create or make our invoice to be automatic. But yet it is not yet complete, because with time we will see that, should in case we cannot yet print, however, we cannot yet print our invoice, or we cannot yet bring it in our sales track, we cannot yet empty it automatically to get to the next customer. So we'll be seeing in the following video first how to automate our stock card in such a way that at any point in time we can have our available stock, we can have automatically the entry from this stock card, we can have the exits and everything. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.